Hello, welcome to PokéBoys here, season 4, the season finale. We're going to be giving our final thoughts and reviewing Pokemon Infinity. Um, if for some reason you clicked on this video and you have not listened to anything of season 4 yet, I guess that's fair. If you're just looking for a review of Pokemon Infinity, that's fair. But I would suggest you go back listen to the past episodes. We played through the game, um, broke it down in chunks, and it was a good time. But we're going to be here. We're going to talk about just our final thoughts, our overall thoughts on the game, give it a little review and a recommendation if we think that people should be trying this game out and playing it. Some of our likes, some of our dislikes, things like that. If you also are new or haven't seen yet, the final battle that we do at the end of each season, that's out on the YouTube page as well. So go check that out. Somebody may or may not have won. I don't know if you can tell by the screen right now, but maybe you might be able to.
I'm just kidding, guys. I did not win.
Go check it out.
I just like holding my bet up.
Yeah. Go check out the final battle.
Purposes.
Yeah, there were stakes on the line, of course. The winner of the final battle for season 4 gets the first pick in the generation draft in season 5. So it was intense. There was a lot on the line. So go give that a watch for sure. With that being said, Dad, how you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great. In spite of some certain things that went down in our battle, I feel beat up a little bit.
Yeah. Hey. I feel you. Trainer and training. It's
very, very brutal road.
Kumino, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantabulous, man. I wish the storm wasn't going on, so my internet wouldn't be messed up. But
can't win them all, I guess.
Right? It beat me up, made me lose.
All right, so let's get into it. Final thoughts on Pokemon Infinity. I'll let you guys go first, and we'll go reverse order here. So Kumino, let's just give the people your final thoughts. Let's start out with the positives. What were some of maybe your favorite parts of the game? What do you think Infinity really nailed? Yeah, final thoughts.
My final thoughts on the game, I would say a masterpiece. It's one of them games where it's so simplistic that sometimes you overlook the subtle nuances that are there. And just the Pokemon, they fit with the region. I made jokes about, oh man, there's so many fighting types. Well, you got to think about it. If you are a kid, you're in a coma, what's one of the things that you like? You like fighting. They're big, they're muscular. So it made sense for there to be so many fighting types, so many fairy types. And the plot twist was magnificent. I give that a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10. Because like I said, me and the legendaries, we were sitting there and we was like, what? Oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of funny you bring up the coma thing. And I don't know if this was intentional or not. I guess we could ask him because Atomic will be coming on for another interview, so we could definitely ask. But maybe what may you subconsciously hear as you're in a coma, keep fighting, stay strong, you got to keep fighting. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm stretching this one out, but it could be a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because you got your dad. Because when you wake up in the hospital and you go into the hallway, it says your parents are there. So both parents are there, your dad and your mom. Your dad is gonna be like, keep fighting, my child, keep fighting. Mm-hmm. Your mom's gonna be like, oh, I hope you get well. I wish you get well. And like I said, that's fighting and that's fairy. So it actually goes again.
Yeah. We'd have to ask. That would be really interesting to know for sure. Yeah. Anything else like really stick out to you that they really nailed?
Ego Azumarill and Ego for Alligator. They were fantastic. They get a 20 out of 10. Both of them, 20 apiece.
Dang. Dad, what about you? Your final thoughts on the positive side. What do you think
So,
they killed?
as my second second Pokemon game completing, um, I was, I think I had a rocky start at first, um, because I think I was expecting more of a similar playthrough like Bushido,
Mhm.
but I quickly fell in love with the world, the aesthetics, the story. Uh, the plot twists were crazy at the end, just bam, bam, bam. Uh, like it was so simplistic, but
Mhm.
they gotcha. But no, it didn't take long for um, Infinity to get its claws in me and
Mhm.
reel me in. And like we were talking earlier, like I wanted to do another battle. Like there were a lot of cool elements
Yeah.
that they incorporated into this that I've never played. I've never experienced. Like
Mhm.
the the battling was really cool. That it opened up another world dimension of this universe for me.
I see what you
So
did there. Another reality.
unintentionally,
What do you?
actually. Um, uh, no, I was very happy with my experience playing this game for sure.
Yeah, I think obviously you guys nailed some of the bigger parts. The story was really good, and like I said in the last episode, I think um, the story for me is very subtle until the end, obviously, but it kind of takes almost the back seat in my first experience playing this game. Uh, I didn't really care too much about the story because it was told so subtly that um, most of the time when you're playing a Pokemon game, the stakes are so incredibly high, like you're trying to save the world. There's always some like world-ending
Mm-hmm.
catastrophic event you're trying to prevent the evil team from completing. And Jeff, you experienced that in Bushido with the Kui clan. They were, trying to take over all the Pokemon, like turn all the Pokemon into Shadow Pokemon and take over, right? But you don't get like that sort of like high stakes story in this game. Um, it's just like you showed up in this region and where did you come from? How do you get home? Like, which personally would be like a big thing to figure out, but like in terms of what you're used to getting in a game, it didn't seem very like hyper important to do that versus the other Pokemon things you do in a Pokemon game. And the thing that drew me in my first playthrough was all of the amazing like Fakemon in this game and the regional variants in this game. I feel like they absolutely nailed the ego variants. Some super cool Fakemon, some really cool like new evolutions to existing Pokemon, which I fell in love with. And those are the aspects that really sucked me in. And then by the time you get to the end game and you are finishing the narrative, then your mind just gets like exploded into like 1,000 pieces because the story like all of a sudden has the most stakes of any story ever like and my second playthrough for this season, being able to come into it with the previous knowledge of how the story unfolds, I was able to appreciate it a lot more and I really enjoyed it much more in my second playthrough for sure. But yeah, they do a lot of really, really good things in this game. But yeah, Dad, you something coming to mind there?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously got to shout out Atomic. I mean, just the your creativity and just his designing and all his art, was awesome. Loved it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Were there any aspects that maybe fell short for you guys, or something you ran into during your playthrough where you're like, oh, that kind of was a stinker, or that maybe would have brought the experience down a little bit? And we'll go opposite again. So, Dad, you kick this one off.
I mean, I really honestly didn't have too many beefs with it. The one thing is the whole like speeding up the game and it crashing a bunch was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But there was just like a little chunk that it happened and didn't break the game for me.
Kumino, were there any points for you that kind of were pain points during your playthrough? Maybe they could have done better, or anything stick out like that?
Well, I would definitely say that sometimes it was a bit long-winded, in which I understand why it was long-winded, in the points where the story actually took place at. It's because the region is small, but you're essentially, for the bulk of the game, traveling and going to destinations. So yeah, they gotta unload everything right here so you can understand the story that's being told in front of you in terms of for the region. And the other thing in which you guys got to witness that right before the battle, to start the post game, my God, those new battles were so irritating. Jesus Christ. Giving those people items and use a potion. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I forgot about that. But that kind of leans into another positive, though, is the game has a pretty robust post game, and like we did our battle and we're doing the interstitial tournament like all in game, which I think is super cool that they have a way to be able to battle and trade online with other people. That's amazing. You don't really see that in many fan games. So those two features have allowed this game to kind of like live on. And there's like a nice little community that plays this game. The Infinity Discord's very active. There's people battling and trading all the time, people showing off shinies and the new hues from the rainbow mode. So not only do they nail the main game, but then they have like a nice, fun, and big post game that you can get into. In terms of negative points for me, maybe I don't know how they would be able to do this, but somehow make the story feel a little more important during the bulk of the playthrough. I think the way I don't know. So at this point, I'm just trying to like think of something that maybe they could do better, but I think that's the only way they could tell the story, really. So maybe that's not even a negative thing.
Yeah, because I can't even really think of anything negative. Like it pretty much nailed everything.
Yeah. My only thing, maybe like the Safari Zone. Maybe throw like a cooler spawn pool in the Safari Zone. Like looking on the wiki page, there wasn't anything that was like super exciting in there. But yeah, they really like crushed this game. It's hard to find something that they did wrong. And like the update that we got mid-season here, the 3.0 and then the eventual 3.0.1 update, like added so many more cool things. Dad brought up the multi-save file feature. So like right now I have the save file for season 4, but then I have a monotype run as a second save file and then another monotype run as a third save file. So it's really cool to be able to do that. They added the rainbow mode, which basically is like cheap random shinies for people with terrible RNG luck like myself, so I can get excited for different colored Pokemon. That's super cool. Man, what else was there in 3.0 that I wanted to talk about? Oh, the challenge. They added challenge mode options in game. So right when you start, you can do monotypes, you can do Nuzlocke, you can do all sorts of things all in game, which is amazing. Because that's what this community thrives on, being able to do those sorts of things. So being able to have that built into the game itself, super cool.
Right, and also with that rainbow mode, you also get to take, like, say you find a puke green Teddy Ursa. You can take the shiny away from it and make another Pokemon shiny.
Yeah, and there are a lot of that puke, like radiant nuclear green hues. That would be my one negative, like too many like radiated green hued Pokemon. A little more variant there, but yeah, man, I guess a negative I could think of, but it's more so just me on my playthrough. I really wish I would have used a Terraswhack. I've wanted to use a Terraswhack so many times, but I didn't do it. My team filled up before I could.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself because, like, Rocky was is fighting and Rock.
Yeah.
But once I got Cody, there's no way I'm taking Cody out. I would never take Cody out. So I'm sorry, but I just couldn't use it.
Atomic, in your next update, even though you're retiring after this, in update 3.1, expand the team size to like 10. So we don't have to make these tough decisions. We could just have 10 Pokemon on our team. Come on. You can't put that many cool Pokemon in here and not let us use them all at once.
I mean, technically, in before the great disaster of the PC, I actually had, between the 6 that was on my team, I had 15 in the box. So I would still have to make decisions.
Oh, dang. Dang, man. But yeah. So I framed my team, I themed my team on just using Fakemon, I think. Yeah, I guess I had one ego variant, but let's go through and kind of like pick our MVP or maybe our favorite Pokemon that we had in our run. And for me, man, I'm gonna go last because I have to decide, because I liked all 6 of my teams so much. So
if that's the case, Dad got to go first because I got to think.
All right. Well, hold on. Let me.
All right. I'll go first. I wanted to say it was going to be a tough decision, but in all honesty, really, like, I just loved Coca Smash. My Crash, he's grass fighting type. His face looks like that stupid mask from Crash Bandicoot. Like, I thought visually he was awesome, but like a grass fighting type is a really cool combination. He was just super strong. Like, I loved it. My Saragold comes in a close second. It's Bug Dragon, so of course it's got to be in consideration as a bug trainer myself, But man, I don't know. Warina was really cool. The Fairy Dark type evolution of Mighty Ina. Ego Typhlosion was an awesome regional variant. Fire Electric, like the sprite looked absolutely amazing. Grimfowl just being like just this fat, dumb, dark flying type owl, like so awesome. And I would say, honestly, my least favorite was Psysteed. But I think it was just the sprite on that one was not as cool as all the other ones that I've seen. But a fire psychic type, as that, I'm surprised Dad didn't get one of these on his team. Just a little, reminder of Delphox. Maybe that'd be so cool to have Delphox and a Psyseed on the same team. But yeah, so Dad, have you made up your mind on your team?
Yeah. But to that point, I think my next playthrough, I'm just gonna have all fire type.
Dude, do a fire monotype run.
I
You can do
should.
that.
I should.
Yeah. That's great because it will literally tell you you're not allowed to catch this Pokemon if you try to catch one that's not the type that you chose.
Oh, so it actually does that. Oh, that's dope.
Like you can't
That's
even
cool.
take so like you know how you get the Ponyta egg in the beginning town? On my bug type run, like it wouldn't even let me take the egg. It's like, no, you're a bug type, you can't take this.
You can't do this. That's crazy. I'll have to do that next run.
You would think it would have randomized it not randomized, but changed it into one of the bugs.
Yeah, that would have been rad.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. So I really liked Chica, which my Meganium.
So cool.
She was cool. And then I loved Ricky, my Blastoise. He was such a cool design. Yeah, but I mean, there were a lot of cool variants that I saw that I liked, but those would be my top two if I had to pick.
Well, you do because I asked you, so good job.
There you go. There you go.
Kumino.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start off with who I believe my MVP was, and that was Ricky, the Ego Azumarum. Ricky carried me through so many battles just because it is a physical attacker with huge power. My God, like I smack down and rock blast so many things to victory. And then when I was able to get the loaded dice, oh my God, that just he just became a beast because I was guaranteed 4 to 5 hits with loaded dice with Rock Smash. I mean, not Rock Smash, Rock Blast. So definitely the MVP. But my favorite of them all would be Ego Feraligatr, another regional variant, water poison. And you would think it's Feraligatr, it's going to be a physical attacker. No, it's a mix attacker. And so just being able to crunch and dark pulse at the same time and still do good damage, just I freaking loved it. If I had to say for Fakemon, definitely Grimfowl. To me, it seemed more like of a wise owl, more older and wise. I mean, yeah, he was a bit on the chunky side, could use some exercise, but like he seemed wise and angry, and I liked that aspect.
Yeah, it was a good poke. Probably, honestly, I had some type overlapping because I just wanted to use Pokemon that were cool. So I had, 2 fire types, and I had 2 dark types. So Grimfowl and Warina were both dark, partially dark. So Warina was much stronger than Grimfowl. So Grimfowl just didn't get used as much. But when it was used, it was a good, like, he's pretty beefy, so he could take some hits. And he did dish out some damage. Plus, now I can say that I've used a Hoot Hoot line completely through the game, and I caught that right on route, like the first route or second route. So never have used a Hoot Hoot line, and I felt like I just needed to give that line its fair share because Gen 2 is my favorite generation. So shout out Hoot Hoot, you got a cool new evolution.
I Dad, when you go to make your pick, make sure you grab Generation 2.
I'll smack you.
That's not my that actually wasn't my pick.
Okay. All right, so yeah, let's get into the recommendations here. Obviously, personally, I highly recommend this. Jared actually was the one that picked this out for this season. So, Jared, hope you're having a great time. Hope you really enjoyed this. I was very excited when he picked this out because, I had played it once and really enjoyed it. So yeah, I would definitely highly recommend this game. Especially if you really enjoy new Fakemon. And I would lump regional variants into Fakemon because you have to create new sprites and new typings and make them unique. So this game has a ton of variants and Fakemon, and they're all very, very cool. The story obviously is great, like we talked about. There's a lot to look forward to in playing this game that I think could draw people in from both sides of the fan game camp, whether you're looking for a great story or you're just looking for cool new Pokemon. This game has both aspects at very high levels. So big like 2 thumbs up, as many high rating I could give it. Like, you must play this game if you're a fan of Pokemon and a fan of fan games. So go download 3.0, play this game and enjoy it. Dad.
Absolutely. I mean, being my second game that I've played through all the way, and I would echo what you said, like, great points, but I would also add to that the replayability, and all the extra stuff that they have post game, and the battling, the trading, all those extra features. It really adds a lot to the game. Gives it a lasting impression on the community, and it's pretty apparent. I mean, it's all over Discord. So
yeah,
no, definitely 2 thumbs up from Dad.
Nice, Kumino. I mean, you said it was a masterpiece, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're gonna recommend this game.
I'm definitely recommending it. Like Mike said, all sides of the fan game community, like, you're gonna find enjoyment in it. You got side quests during the main story to tie you over. Max level is 150, which means you don't have to worry. Well, I mean, like, if you're one of those people that want to just not be over leveled all the time, well, guess what you can do? It's so many cool Pokemon that you can be like me and just have a whole box dedicated to Pokemon that you constantly swapping in and out. And in terms of difficulty wise, yeah, because just random trainers will have a Pokemon or 2 on their team that have held items that you're not prepared for, or using a potion when you think you got them, and it's just so good and so refreshing to have something like that from a Pokemon game. You gotta go for it. I'm gonna go the wrestling route, since me and Joe did the wrestling thing earlier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do like Dave Meltzer, and I'm giving it 5 stars. 5 stars.
Nice. Yeah, the difficulty we didn't talk about, but it's challenging. It's pretty challenging. And that's always a fun time, because if you're from the mainline series or whatever, those games are laughably easy. So getting a little challenge is very nice. So moral of the story: 1, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're watching. Hope you subscribe. But 2, go play this game. You can join the Showboys Discord. We have a channel, the Season 4 Infinity channel. The link for the 3.0 download should be pinned in there, so you could easily find it. Or you can go scour the internet and join the Pokemon Infinity Discord, where they also have the download. I'm sure you can find it somewhere else on the internet, but those are 2 I know. Go follow Kumino, of course. Twitch and Twitter. His links are in the episode description. And we have a fun little interstitial between seasons 4 and 5. We're going to have a Pokemon Infinity tournament with our audience. We have 8 participants. And for those listeners, those of you who are participating again, there are stakes at hand here. The listener who makes it the farthest in the tournament, because the 3 of us will also be participating, the listener who advances the farthest will get to either appear as a guest host on a future season and play along with us and podcast with us, or they can pick a challenge or a fan game for us to do in a future season. So best of luck to you audience members who are participating. And then I don't know if we've like officially announced it yet, but we kind of brought it up here. But Atomic, we're going to have another little interview with him. So we'll release those for our interstitial episode here before season 5 starts. Until then, have a good one. We'll see you around.